What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, Drag 'em Up Downforce. And this is my 2013 F-150 Raptor, and today we're going to be changing lower ball joints and tie rack connection. Alright, let's get to it. So it turns out I don't have the right socket for the job, so we're going to use a chrome one. Don't tell nobody. Alright, now that we got the wheel off, we're going to put it underneath the truck. Just for safety. We're going to start by removing the brake calipers. And then we'll go from there. The brake caliper comes off with a 1/2-inch socket. I'm going to put that off to the side. We're going to take these off to take off the mounting bracket for the caliper. That's a 13/16. Loosen that one. Bottom one off. Oh look, brake calipers didn't come off. Take these off, put them off to the side before I drop them. Now that that's off, we can take off the rotors. Uh-oh. Might have to give them a love tap. Well, that's not coming out as easy as I thought. Alright, after beating on this thing like crazy, I finally got it loose. Looser at least. There it goes. Now we got to take off this whole spindle. So what we got to do is, once we get that spindle off, we got to take off these nuts, bolts for the 4x4. These lines for the ABS, and then we can start removing this nut, tie rod length, since we're going to change that out, and then finally we'll release the bottom one. Let's get started on that. Alright guys, now we're going to start taking this apart. First we need to get this out. I've been beating on it for a good, I don't know, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. We're gonna get this out so we could remove the axle, so we could drop the spindle. I'm trying to save this because I didn't order this part, and you can't just go to the store and get them. As dumb as it sounds. You would think they keep these in stock everywhere. It's just a little cap. I can't get it out. I hope the other side's not as hard as this one. Are you serious? There we go. Alright, we got it out. Now we got to remove this nut. It's gonna be a 1/2 inch. Let's start removing this before we forget. this off to the side. Alright, now that we got that removed, we're going to come over here on this side and we're going to start removing these lines for the 4x4, this one for the brake lines, because we're going to remove this whole spindle. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, we're going to start by moving this dust cover, and this is an 8mm, just so we can get it out of the way. I mean, you don't really have to, but I'm going to. But actually, you do have to. You have to remove it so you can get to this 4x4 line right here, this vacuum line. So you got 1, 2, 3 screws which you have to remove for this dust cover. I guess I could use a power tool, huh? Alright, I'm back. Now let's use some power tools. Put that off to the side. Keep the bolts with it. Now we're gonna get a, what size is this? H5 hex key. And we're gonna remove this vacuum line for the 4x4. Hopefully it doesn't break. No, it didn't. No, it's not a vacuum line. It's an ABS line. Put this screw back in here so we don't lose it. Alright. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to remove these lines. Oh, wow. I'm over here jittering it. You're going to remove these, which is also going to be a 8mm. You got that one. Oh, there it goes. That one's probably going to be a 10. Of course, 10mm. And my battery's dead. That didn't last long. Take that out. Put this bolt back in so you don't lose it. You know where it goes. Same thing with this one. Let me grab some zip ties so we can hang that. Grab this brake caliper, hang it to this sway bar. Oh, dropping them. Hang it to the sway bar link, or the sway bar, whatever you want to call it. Alright, now that that's out of the way, and we got these out, we can move on to, you got 4 bolts in the back holding in the axle. We're going to remove those next. That's also an 8mm. These are the bolts for the axle. Oh wait, we might not even have to remove those. We just remove these hoses for the 4x4. Would you look at that? Alright, now let's move on to the next part then. Well, since I didn't have to remove those bolts for the axle in the back, it's the 4x4 vacuum lines, we're going to move on to the tie rod end, which is a, I think, yeah, it's 13/16. Set that out. wow. Let me raise it a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Let's try this again. There you go. You gotta make sure you have it at least somewhat level, I guess. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's move on to we'll do the bottom. We're going to remove this bolt now. This one's a 22. I don't have a 22. I got a strip and wall wrench, and that's what we're going to use. Alright, that's out. Now we're going to come up here, and we're going to remove that bolt. That one, if I remember correctly, it's also a 13/16. Sure is. Don't forget, guys, to keep a jack underneath your arm. You don't put a jack under there. When you release this, that pressure from the spring and the shock, it's gonna kick. What happens after that? If nothing happens, good. If something does happen, you'll be in the hospital. Have a pretty hefty bill. Put a little bit more pressure on there. Straighten it out. There we go. Top one's out. Look, I might as well change this top one. Holy cow. Pull this axle out. Let's relieve some pressure. Go down slowly. Slower than that, because that wasn't slow. Now we got the axle out. There we go. Now that you have the whole spindle out, drop arm, whatever you want to call it, you could get to the ball joint. It looks like it has a C-clip on there. You can figure that out. I gotta get another zip tie that up. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's take out this retaining pin. I know they sell a tool for this, but guess what? I don't have it. And I think I really need it. You don't need it. You just gotta be careful. Make sure you don't ruin it. Boom. There it is. Now comes the fun part. Now we gotta beat it out. Hopefully it comes out easy. We'll see. I don't think it's gonna come out that easy, guys. Alright, we're back. Well, I couldn't get the ball joint out. We were struggling for about 3 hours. Had to get a pipe wrench and a hammer and all types of stuff, but we're putting it back in now. Let's see how this goes. I don't think it's gonna go. We'll be back. Well, now we got this ball joint in. Struggled with it for a long time. Couldn't get it out. Couldn't get it in. It's crazy. Now I just gotta come back and I gotta put the clip in here. Once I find it, I don't know where I left it. Got a mess everywhere. We got the ball joint in, and we're gonna put this retaining clip back on, which is this one. I don't think it's gonna be as easy as I took it off, but we will see. Boom, there you go. Looks like it's in there. Shove. Alright, that's it. Now we're gonna do the tie rod. I need to change this one out. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get some tape and tape this off right here, so whenever I put the new one in, I know exactly where to stop. Let me get that. Got a little bit of painter's tape. Come around here. Alright, now that I got the tape on there, I'm going to take these nuts off. This one's a 22, and once again I don't have a 22 because I don't have anything else that works on it. But I got 2 strip mall wrenches. Try it like this. Oh, there you go. Broke it loose. Oh. They look the same. They gotta be the same. Alright, let's put this back. That's tight. You gotta put the grease fitting on that. Now I gotta put on the grease fitting for this ball joint before I forget. I gotta put some grease in there before I forget too. What do they say? Cross thread is the best thread? Or cross thread is better than no thread? I don't know. Just hope it stays. Right? That's all we could wish for. Good enough for me. Now let's throw some grease in there. Now that we got that out of the way, we can start putting this back together. Right? Alright, let's put this on now. So putting everything back. Maybe this new bolt's smaller. Nope, still a big one. Put the retaining pin. Where's that wrench? Well, that didn't work. Put this. Nope, that's not gonna fit either. What are we gonna do? Going crazy over there. 10 millimeter. Then a 13/16 wrench, which I don't have. Back to the strip mall. There's that. Now we're going to tighten this one. now that's back on. Now we can start putting all these other brackets back on. We'll put the ABS sensor back. We'll hook up the 4x4 hoses back. Alright, now that we got those back on, let's tighten them all up. Now we can put our dustpan back on. Check this out, guys. Charged it. I'm already done though. Now that I got the dustpan back on, for the dust cover, we can start putting the rotors back on. Brake caliper bracket and the brake calipers. Alright, now that we got the brake calipers mounted, well, the brake caliper brackets, we can get the brake calipers back on. Make sure these are tight. Alright. Now that you got your brackets back on, we're going to compress our calipers so we can put our brake pads back in. I use this cheap AutoZone tool. It's the ones you can rent, and if you don't return them, you keep them. I mean, it's like a rent to buy, I guess, rent to own, I don't know. They told me if I wanted to keep it, don't bring it back, so I didn't bring it back. We'll put our brake pads back. Start putting the bolts back for our brake calipers. You might want to hold it back because sometimes it'll spin on you. And that's it, guys. I mean, I didn't show you a lot of things, like to get that ball joint out. I was beating on it for a good 40 minutes. And then my dad came over and we started beating on it together. After everything, the ball joint press, an impact gun, a cheater bar, and a pipe wrench got it out. I mean, everybody's gonna do it a different way. It's the way I know how to do it. I mean, if the right tool doesn't work, what do? You hit it with a hammer. It's your best choice. Now, once you're done with all that, don't forget to put your little cap back in that I couldn't get out in the first place. Once I find the hammer, here it is. Now you put your wheel back on and you're done. I don't know, guys. If you guys think there's an easier way to do it, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.